Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 39 of Guess the Trade. But first, let's talk about episode 38. We looked at Van Hotard. He had a Milwaukee tote. Lots of really great tools inside there. We also got a little bit of a glimpse inside his workshop. What was it that he did with those tools? Well, some of you guessed it like right on. He said, I am a DIY slash homeowner, does lots of stuff at his own house, also for relatives and friends. He sees it as a learning opportunity. And I always say, if you own a home and you want to try something yourself, you can typically go buy the tools to do it and try to figure out how to do it yourself. Now, I'm not suggesting everything, but there's a lot of things where you get to purchase the tool and learn a skill at the same time. That's win-win, and you usually come out a little bit cheaper. But that's what he said he did with those tools. That was Van Hotard. I appreciate him sending those in. Today we're going to look at Gusty Oinker. He has sent in 4 Vito bags that we're going to take a look at. He does have quite a few pictures, but they're not overly extravagant. I thought I was going to maybe make it into 2, but I think we can fit it all into one thing. And he has a TPXL, also a TP4B, an SBLD, and then an MP2X. Lots of really nice tools that we're going to take a look at and see if we can guess what it is that he does. He's already told me what he does with each individual bag. So that may be what you want to think about as we're going through these tools. What does he do with this certain bag? What does he do with this other bag? And then guess those things down below. But let's go ahead and jump into his tools. So we're going to start out looking at his TPXL. You can see that there. Again, it's the high vis action on that. And he's going to pull out every tool on all these bags. So I'm mostly going to show you the bags as a loadout in case you're interested in the bags. There's the front. Here's the left side. Looks like he's got a pair of Klein snips. Also a Klein, looks like 32619 screwdriver. Over here on the outside, he's got the Knipex pliers wrench, Milwaukee 1505, electrical tape, Velcro straps. Front side, you can just again kind of see taller tools in the back, shorter tools in the front. Next picture, I believe I got a duplicate there. So here's an overview of all the tools that are in that bag. So again, I think this is a good picture to have, because if you were looking for a TPXL as being, is that bag going to work right for me? You could probably look at these tools, imagine them to be the ones that you normally run and say, would my tools fit in that bag? I think that's always a good way to approach it whenever you're looking at that. And he's going to pull these out in quadrants, so we'll go ahead and take a look at them in quadrants. Next picture, here is that far right side. Looks like he's got some Maximum and a Titan ratchet wrench on one side right there, and also a Pittsburgh pry bar type driver. And here he's got a DeWalt, looks like one of those fencing type pliers. I think I've also seen that maybe Irwin's got a pair of these, or Channel Lock or something like that as well. So it's basically a pair of pinchers and then also a hammer. He's probably using that for a hammer in this bag. I typically use the Knipex. I think it's called the Carpenter's In-Cut pliers or something like that. Super nice. I keep them in my bag. I think they were even a top tool of 2022. My glad I bought them. So I think maybe I had them in that video. But I use them all the time. But that's probably what he's using this one for. Also has the Vera A38RA ratcheting driver. That's the one that, in my opinion, the ratcheting mechanism, as far as the way you turn the knob and just really the way that one works, is super nice. It's a lot different. Also got the Klein Impact, or the Klein 11-in-1 magnetic right there. Also a Klein flip socket set. That one's got the 11/32. And then up here again, the 1505 Railer bit rails. And then up there's another flip socket with the 9/16 and not the 11/32. Klein USB digital multimeter. Also a outlet tester right there. Again, one of my favorite ones. So that's everything in that one. Here's the far left side. Has a Leatherman Mutt. Again, I'm not big on those. I don't know one compared to the other. But that's which one he's carrying. If you got questions about it, you could probably ask him about it. I know nothing about those. Also has a pliers wrench up top. Probably 180s if I had to guess. And then he's got Knipex nippers, Klein crimper, Milwaukee USA lineman, and then another Klein stripper right there. So a multitude of tools just on that top row, and that's what you're going to end up having. I don't like to be a person who only runs one brand of tools. However, sometimes one brand makes really good tools, so you're going to end up having a lot of them. But ultimately, if you're a tool bag and you're going to end up with a lot of different tools if you try multiple things, because you're curious which one is going to be best for you in particular and the jobs that you do. Because some brands like Milwaukee, they make really good tools, but then some of their tools aren't so great. Klein's the same. Knipex. Now, for the most part, everything I've tried from Knipex has been, pretty good. Matter of fact, I can't think of anything personally that I have of Knipex that it's not the best one of whatever it is I tried, but I don't have every Knipex tool. I'm sure there's some tools like Knipex also makes, like the locking pliers, what I call vice grips. I've not tried them, but I'm sure that there's probably maybe that's a tool where Knipex isn't the top dog. Maybe it's Malco or something like that has better ones than those. But that's going to be the case in your tool bags. If you use a lot of different tools, you try out a lot of different tools, you're going to end up with a mixed bag like what he's got here. So he's got that on the top row. Bottom row, more Klein scissors, or actually Klein scissors. We saw them just a minute ago. Milwaukee channel locks is what I call them. Tongue and groove pliers, water pump pliers, whatever you want to call them. I don't care for these that have that straight draw. I've never tried these right here. I don't know if those are any good or not because I was so turned off by these. I've just not bought any more Milwaukee of those. But he has those. He's also got the Weehaw self-adjusting one. So again, there's another brand. A pair of Maximum there as well. Those were the same as his ratcheting wrenches a minute ago. Here's another pair. I think this is the actual pair of Milwaukee ones that I had that I just couldn't grip onto anything with those. And then a Knipex pair of 300 Cobras. So that's the 12-inch size that he has there. And then here's the middle of that bag. So we've seen from that screwdriver from the Milwaukee one over. He's got the Milwaukee, I think that's called the 27-in-1, and then also a ratcheting Impact 11-in-1 and another flip socket down here with a handle, DeWalt 25-foot tape, and then also Klein SAE hex keys, an infrared and Klein non-contact voltage tester, Klein torpedo level, and then a Klein light right there. A lot of people really like that light. I've heard a lot of good things about that one. So I think that's all on that bag. Yeah, the next is the TP4B. So this is his TPXL. I'm going to hit those real fast so I don't have to go back through all these at the end when we get there. So take one last look at those tools. Guess down below. Again, in his answer to me, he gave me, this is what I do with this bag. This is what I do with this bag. Guess down below what you think he does with the TPXL. You might want to comment that now, while we're getting into the rest of it. Unless you're watching the series premiere, you're not going to be able to do that. But if you're watching it, you might want to pause it, go down and comment before we get into the next tools. But let's go ahead and jump into this TP4B next. You can see that here. There's the outside. And whenever I look down in this bag, it's almost like I'm looking in my own bag. Like it's a lot of the tools that I run each and every day in my main bags and stuff like that. So we've got a lot of the same taste. So you can see that one there. Here's the side view. More Railer bit rails. Looks like maybe an air tag as well. That might be the, let's see, no, that's not the Riley knife and tool air tag thing. I was going to say that might be that one, but it's not. It didn't look the same. Railer bit rail in the back. Next picture, here's a front side view. And he also has his lights and his knife. He's got them that Rob Holland style. That's the way Rob likes them, on the outside of your bag, not wasting the pocket. Here we go on this side. Electrical tape, smaller Klein drivers right there. And then the back side, he's got that Railer bit rail put through that belt loop. And that's probably about as best use that you can get for that belt loop as possible. I've never really understood that on the TP4B pouches or any of the other ones. In fact, the hard bottom bags, to me, it's a bag. I can never imagine myself wearing my TP4B as a pouch, and especially using that belt clip and putting it on my belt. That would put it in such an awkward position. So that's pretty much just about as good a use as, anything else that you're going to get for it. But he's got that one right there. Next picture, there's all the tools out. So again, you can always fit a lot of stuff inside this bag. It always amazed me how much I could get in that bag. We'll go to the first quadrant. Knipex Cobras and pliers wrench 180, my favorite sizes. Bigger flip socket with the bigger size right there. Klein non-contact voltage tester, again, Milwaukee Fastback. Another ratcheting Impact 11-in-1. He really likes ratcheting screwdrivers. I can see that he's got a lot of them. Now these right here, these are my favorite two screwdrivers. By far, those are the ones that I use the most out of any screwdriver. In fact, if you watch any of my Watch Me Work videos, it's probably me either using these two or my Vessel electric screwdriver almost 90% of the time, it seems like. He's also got a Vera ratcheting screwdriver right there. Knipex 26-12-200 needle nose up top. Next picture, he's got the Icon twin grip style. So I'm interested to know, Gusty, if you maybe have the original twin grips and these. I haven't seen them yet, but maybe you've got them a little bit later on in some other bag. If you like the Icon ones, if you feel like there's any difference between them and the Knipex version, if it's worth the price difference, I'm interested in your feedback on that. And then he also has this Milwaukee Rover light right there, about as good as battery powered flashlight as you can possibly get from Home Depot, I think, in my opinion. And then these Makita sockets up top. I mean, these right here, you can fit these in about any bag, takes up very little space. Absolutely phenomenal for the price. If you've got an Icon flex head ratchet, if you've got a lot of stuff that takes the 1/4 inch stuff, I mean, you can't hardly beat those. And these new ones here, you can see they've even got like the lettering on the side. I don't think any of my pairs have that. I think that's the newer pairs that have those. But if you haven't bought a pair of them and you need some 1/4 inch sockets, you can take those, throw them in the bottom of your Vito bag, down in below all the screwdrivers and all that stuff. You don't probably use them that often, but they're in there in case you end up needing something like that. Super nice set to have. So he's got those metric SAE, and he's also got some vessel bits up there. Next picture on this side, we'll start from right here. We looked at that vessel ratcheting screwdriver, but here he's got the Vera insulated. Also a Vera, says Phoenix contact, but I don't know if that's like that Wago tool for the little levers or something like that. Then he's also got those newer Milwaukee ink Zaws. I haven't picked any of those up. I did notice in Lowe's the other day, whenever I was going around looking at stuff, Klein has come out with their versions of ink Zaws as well. I didn't pick any up because I've got like packs galore of these ink Zaws and Sharpies and stuff like that. I've got enough to last me for multiple years. But I'm just curious if any of you tried the Klein ones. Do you feel like they're any good or not? I might pick up one pack just to try one and see if it's any different. I'm sure it's not that much, but interested. I just so happen to notice those, so letting you know those are out there. But he's got the new Milwaukee ones there. Also that Klein pocket screwdriver. So far, I really like that. And then that Vessel electric screwdriver. I absolutely love that thing. One of my favorite tools in a long time. Klein limited edition, or the USA diagonals right there with the flag on them. Also, he has that Weehaw electrician's hammer. Super nice tool right there as far as for fitting in Vito bags. Klein's scissors, snips, and then another Klein, either 14-in-1 maybe is what that one is. I don't think that's the 27-in-1, but it could be. But I think it's the 14-in-1. And then the electrical installation pliers from Knipex. Really like those. I think the Forge wire strippers is the best bang for your buck between those two pairs. But then if you only run 12 and 14, that's a super nice pair to have. And then also, again, the Knipex needle nose. I think we saw those in that last picture. So I think that's the last one. It is. So here's his next bag. So let's go back. Here's his TP4B. There's the tools that are in those. That's the bulk of them right there. So take a look at those. And then again, guess down below, TP4B, what it is that you think he does with that one. Next, let's jump into his SBLD. So we'll get to that picture. Here's the front side of that bag. That almost looks like a professional photography type picture right there, as far as Vito would have put something like this out. So there's the front side. Can't hold a lot of tools in this one, but again, the big thing on this one is that back part, which is right here. He's got the Klein mod box with the precision driver set. Also something else right there that we'll see here in a minute. See maybe what that is. Going to the next picture. Top down view, a couple more vessels. Also a couple more Klein, some Vera, some Knipex. Actually right there I think is that Knipex Carpenter's end cutting plier. So I'll show you that here in a minute and see what that looks like for you in case you wasn't sure what I was talking about. Here's the side view. Milwaukee, Vera, Knipex, Klein, railers. Next picture, here's the back. Here is that laptop type sleeve. A lot of times most people just put more tools and stuff down inside these. I don't know very many people that use it for laptops, but he does. He's showing that there. So he's got a tablet inside there. And a lot of you ask all the time, you know, what size tablet can you fit in something like this? So Gusty, you might let us know exactly what that tablet is that you fit it in the SBLD, just so we know. And then he's got a picture of, I'm assuming, his better half, but I'm even going to get more brownie points and say it's probably his daughter that he's got a picture of on the cover of his tablet. And I hope she knows that you did this as well. She might get mad at you now that she's on YouTube. But so he's got that in there, but that's the tablet that he fits back in the back side. Here is an overall view of all the tools. Again, we're going to see these in quadrants, and man, that's a nice looking picture right there. You know, I see all these tools laid out like this, and you know, it's almost looks like a work of art to me. Like, I'd rather look at a picture like this than go to some museum and see a bunch of stuff like that. It just looks so nice. All of them laid out like that. So we'll take a look at these as we go through. Here is the left side. We've got the Klein, you know, 8-in-1 riches over there. Also Vessel bit holder, Klein mod box with the precision driver set. The Icon flex head ratchet up there. We'll get down in here. He's got a stubby, looks like the either 8-in-1 or 12-in-1 in the Riley tool sheath right there. Also that Klein little ratcheting deal right there. That's a super handy tool. Vera looks like 5.5, and his is chewed up pretty good, just like what a lot of mine are. I have bought like 4 of those 5.5 Veras with the laser tip because they're just phenomenal. They work on all sorts of stuff in the maintenance field, it seems like. It's probably my most used tip screwdriver if I'm not running my just normal stuff in my pouch. But if I get out that tool all the time just to use on all sorts of stuff, it's by far the best screwdriver for plate covers and stuff like that for electrical. If you haven't picked up one of those, super nice. You can get that whole entire set of Vera insulated drivers for like $30 or something like that on Amazon, $36, something along those lines. Super nice there, so you might want to check that out. We go on down. He's got also Milwaukee. Those were needle nose, not strippers. He's got a pair of Klein strippers right next to it. Vessel ratcheting with the bit holding. Also has Milwaukee SAE keys, folding keys. Another pair of 10-inch Cobras, and here he's got some more Icon. That's the Raptor clone right there. So he's swaps back and forth. Sometimes he buys Icon, sometimes he buys Knipex. So far, I haven't bought a whole lot of Icon, but most of my Icon stuff that I have bought has been pretty decent. Also, a pair of 125 Cobras and pliers wrench. Nice set to have there. Looks like a Irwin, kind of like a scratch-all right there. Vessel, another ratcheting screwdriver. Again, he loves the ratcheting stuff for sure. I'm not a big fan, but he loves it. Also, a Vera Cyclops right there. Milwaukee Fastback, another Klein flip socket. So that's pretty much all of it in this quadrant. Next one over here. So that was a Vera setup there as well. That's a Cyclops 1/4 inch with some sockets. Also a bit holder. Also a flexible end on it. Super nice set. Down here we've got the twin grips. So you do own a pair of twin grips. You also own a pair of Icon twin grips. So again, Gusty, let us know any big difference. You know, would you only buy the Knipex since you've had the Icon? Is it worth the price difference? You know, whenever I started looking at Icon Knipex clones for the pliers wrench and the Cobras or those kinds of things, to me the price difference wasn't enough. You know, I'm willing to buy a knockoff if it's a decent tool, still works the same, and it's maybe, you know, a significant amount cheaper. But if I'm only going to save $5, I'm going to buy the OG every time, you know, and it didn't seem to me like the price difference was that much. That's why I never bought them. But you can let us know what you think about them. Another Klein Impact ratcheting 11-in-1. I think you might actually have more Impact 11-in-1s than what I do, and I've got quite a few of them. I bought them just to make my own random screwdrivers out of. A pair of Klein lineman pliers right there. Also the, let's see, 13-in-1 because it's got the orange bit, I assume. Another Vessel tang through. A Vera strike through. There's those end cutters right there with the hammer end on them. Again, super great tool. Best pliers, period, that I've ever owned for pulling brad nails out of stuff. And then the hammer function is really nice as well. We go on down. Also, we've got an Olight, I think it's Baton 3, possibly. Knipex angled shears. A screw extractor set that luckily it doesn't look like he's had to use. Spring punch tool, different bit holders, different things like that. The 27-in-1 Klein precision driver. Doesn't have a bit in there, but he's got them inside the, you know, handle of that probably. And then also he's got that other precision driver set. I think they're, I think the bits for Klein here, and then also maybe in this setup there, I think those might be compatible. I'm not 100% sure. Next picture, we got some Vera hex keys, also a Klein cable cutter. Move down, we've got the Van Plier scissors. Those probably cut better than any pair of scissors I've ever used. Also the Milwaukee torpedo level and Knipex 180 Cobras and pliers wrench right there. And I think that's the last one it is. So here's the tools. I'll go back to this main picture. Right here are the tools in his SBLD. So take a look at those. Comment down below what it is you think he does with that SBLD. Tons of tools. You look at all these right here, just take a look at those. I mean, all those fit inside that bag. That is crazy to me that you can fit all those in that size bag. And he's not even using the tablet section to hold tools. He's actually putting a tablet in there. So again, that's his SBLD. We'll go into his last bag, which is his MP2X. And again, as I look at this, a lot of it's pretty similar to how I run mine. Here is the front view. Here is the right side view. And I think he's just using that Icon flex head ratchet. We saw that in that last loadout just to help hold it up right for the pictures. I do like the kickstand feature on all these pouches right here, though. It is super nice to have. Here is that left-hand side. And then here is the top-down view. And again, that back side, mine aren't the ratcheting vessels, but I always run the yellow and red tang throughs with the ceramic balls. I typically will run this Impact 11-in-1, not the ratcheting, but the regular, or my vessel electric screwdriver. And then I've got pliers everywhere where he's got all this other stuff too. We'll see what kind of pliers he has. Here we've got the Knipex Cobras. Again, he's got 250s. I normally run 180s. Impact 11-in-1 ratcheting, vessel ratcheting with the Phillips, and then also with the slotted. And then there's the Knipex forged wire strippers. Again, for the price, I feel like the Knipex forged wire strippers are better buy than the electrical installation pliers. But, you know, if you only run 12 and 14 gauge wire, the electrical installation pliers are super nice. He's also got the Vera 818/4/1. I've still not bought one of those to try. Down here at the bottom, he's got a pair of Knipex diagonals. I carry those in my MP2X. He's got that new smaller Talon grip, the LN449CF from Snap-on. I've got the 7-inch and the 9-inch. I haven't got those. Also, he's got a couple vessel insulated, a pair of step cuts. Those will cut through so much stuff for how small they are. They're spectacular. A Vera 10 millimeter Joker, another Milwaukee Inkzall, and then a pair of flush cuts right there. So there's the tools in his MP2X. I think that's the last one. Yeah, it is. So his answers are the next one. I don't want to scroll over. So there's his MP2X. I'll scroll back one more time. There's the top view of that, side view, and then we'll get to the very front view. There's that one as well. But that was a lot of pictures to check out. Again, that was a TPXL, a TP4B, an SBLD, and then an MP2X. All bags that I have carried over the course of time. The TPXL was one of the few bags that I've tried from Vito. It's not that I didn't like it or I hated it. It was just a little bit tippy to me. Whenever I got the TPLC, I felt like it was a better bag because the base was a little bit different. But the MP2X, I absolutely love it. The SBLD, I'm still carrying that right now. I really like that as well. And then the TP4B, that was one of my main go bags whenever I first started this channel. It's my house bag now. It's what I use inside my house. But a phenomenal little bag. You know, you can't hardly beat it. You can fit so much stuff in there. So lots of really great tools from lots of really great brands inside there. A multitude of things. But again, guess what it is you think maybe he does overall if you want to. And then also guess down below what you think each bag's kind of use is. That's the answers he gave me. He kind of gave me an overall thing and then what he does with each specific bag. So I'll share those with you next week. And also he can answer those in the comments below if he wants to. Appreciate you sharing them with us, Gusty. Again, really great to look at all those things. Don't forget to guess down below. But as always, I hope this video was helpful. Hope it's useful. Stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.